The word forbidden has a way of grabbing people's attention, doesn't it? Maybe it's because it feels exciting. Maybe it's because we're told to stay away from it. But when it comes to intimacy, a lot of people assume that anything bold or outside the norm has to be dangerous or disrespectful. That's simply not true. What actually makes the difference isn't the technique itself, it's how you and your partner get there. The strongest connections don't come from doing something shocking, they come from knowing that both people feel completely safe, respected, and heard. That's where real intimacy begins. Before trying anything new, three things have to be there: clear consent, honest boundaries, and thoughtful aftercare. Those aren't optional. They're the foundation that allows both people to relax, trust each other, and actually enjoy the experience. Without those things, even the simplest moment can feel uncomfortable. But when they're in place, something changes. Both people can stop worrying about what might happen and stay fully present with each other. So if you're looking for what makes someone truly crave being close to you, don't start by chasing techniques. Start by creating a space where your partner feels emotionally and physically safe. That's the part most people overlook, and honestly, it's the part that matters the most. If there's one lesson that matters more than anything else, it's this: don't skip the conversation before the experience. Most people spend all their time thinking about what they're going to do. Very few stop to ask what their partner actually wants. That's where everything starts. Sit down together while you're both relaxed. Talk about what feels good, what doesn't, and what each of you might be open to trying someday. Be honest. No guessing. No assumptions. Then, agree on a simple way to communicate in the moment. Have a clear word that means stop right away. Have another one that means slow down. It also helps to have small check-ins, even something as simple as asking, "How does this feel?" That keeps both of you connected instead of wondering what the other person is thinking. And don't forget what happens afterward. Spend a minute together, hold each other, talk, ask if everything felt okay. That little bit of care after the moment is just as important as everything that came before it. Here's something I've learned. People relax when they know they're always in control. When someone knows they can stop at any time and that their boundaries will be respected without question, their body naturally feels safer. They stop bracing for the unexpected and start being fully present. That's why this conversation isn't a mood killer. It's actually what creates trust. And trust is what allows real intimacy to happen. Before anything else, build that foundation. Everything that follows becomes stronger because of it. A lot of people hear the term name play and immediately think it's just dirty talk. That's not really what this is about. The real point is using words that make your partner feel wanted, appreciated, and comfortable, not embarrassed, not pressured, and definitely not surprised. The best conversations like this actually start before you're ever in the moment. Ask what kinds of words they enjoy hearing. Ask if there are any words they never want used. It might feel a little awkward at first, but that simple conversation can make a huge difference later. Once you both know what's okay, keep it natural. Don't try to sound like you're reading from a movie script. Just say what you're honestly noticing. Tell them they look beautiful. Tell them you love the way they smile, breathe, or respond to your touch. Those kinds of words usually feel much more genuine because they're happening in real time. I've noticed that the simplest compliments are often the ones people remember. When your words match what's actually happening, they feel real. And when someone feels truly seen instead of judged, it's much easier for them to relax and enjoy the moment. One mistake people make is trying to improvise without ever talking about it first. Another is using words they assume their partner will like because they heard them somewhere else. Every person is different. What feels exciting to one person might make someone else shut down completely. Pay attention to their reaction. If they suddenly get quiet, seem uncomfortable, or their energy changes, don't ignore it. Stop for a second and check in. A simple, "Are you okay?" or "How does this feel?" shows that you care more about them than about saying the perfect thing. At the end of the day, this isn't about finding clever words. It's about making your partner feel safe enough to believe what you're saying. That's what creates real connection, and that's something no script can replace. This was probably the longest part of the video, and honestly, I think that's because it's also one of the most misunderstood. A lot of people hear the word spanking and immediately think it's about pain. But that's not the point the video is making at all. The real focus is on rhythm, timing, and staying connected with your partner. It isn't about hitting harder. It's about paying attention, moving together, and making sure both people are comfortable every step of the way. One thing that really stood out to me is how much emphasis was placed on control. Where you make contact matters. How much pressure you use matters. The pace matters too. None of those things should ever be random or impulsive. More importantly, you're supposed to watch your partner's response the entire time. Don't assume everything is okay just because they haven't said anything. Look at their body language. Listen to their breathing. Stay aware of how they're reacting. If something feels off, slow down or stop and check in. There's never a reason to increase the intensity unless you've both clearly agreed to it. That mindset changes everything. Instead of focusing on the action itself, you're focusing on the experience you're creating together. It's less about doing something dramatic and more about staying in sync with each other. The video also makes another important point that a lot of people overlook. What happens afterward matters just as much as what happened during the experience. Don't just move on like it's over. Slow things down, offer comfort, stay close, ask how they feel, make sure they're okay. Those few quiet moments afterward can leave a stronger impression than anything else because they show that your partner's comfort still comes first. To me, that's really the biggest takeaway from this section. It's never about pushing limits. It's about building trust, paying attention, and showing that you care enough to listen every step of the way. That's what turns a shared experience into a positive memory instead of an uncomfortable one. The third technique is probably the one that surprises people the most. At first, it sounds more intense than it really is. But the video makes one thing clear right away. This is never about being rough. It's about being gentle, intentional, and completely respectful of your partner's comfort. The focus is on applying a light pull near the base of the hair, close to the scalp. Nothing sudden, nothing forceful. The idea is that even a small amount of controlled movement can create a unique sensation when both people are comfortable with it. But before anything else, there has to be clear consent. This isn't something you should ever assume someone is okay with. Talk about it first. If there's any uncertainty, don't do it. No technique is more important than making your partner feel safe. The video also points out that this isn't appropriate for everyone. It should be avoided if someone has neck problems, suffers from migraines, has recently had a scalp procedure, or wears hair extensions. Those situations can increase the risk of discomfort or injury, so it's simply not worth it. What really stood out to me is that the video keeps coming back to the same message. It doesn't matter what technique you're talking about. Respect always comes first. Communication always comes first. The transcript ends just as the speaker begins, saying, "If there's any hesitation," so we don't hear the rest of the explanation. But based on everything leading up to that point, the message is already pretty clear. If either person feels unsure, uncomfortable, or hesitant, that's your answer. Slow down, talk, and don't move forward until you're both completely on the same page.